8 years after the most devastating terror attack on American soil, the accused architects of 9/11 will be transferred from military custody at Guantanamo Bay, where they've been held for years, to a federal lockup in New York and tried in a civilian courthouse just blocks from Ground Zero.
I fully expect to direct prosecutors to seek the death penalty against each of the alleged 9/11 conspirators.
Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the self-proclaimed mastermind of 9/11, is the headline defendant. But the others are also major al-Qaeda players. Walid bin Attash, known as Khalad, is accused of running terror camps. Ramzi bin al-Shibh, the government says, trained the 9/11 hijackers. And moneymen Ali Abdul Aziz Ali and Mustafa al-Hassawi allegedly helped pay for the attacks.
The alleged mastermind of the 9/11 attacks and 4 senior al-Qaeda leaders are being brought back to the scene of the crime.
After 8 years of delay, those allegedly responsible for the attacks of September the 11th will finally face justice. They will be brought to New York.
And the politics of the decision were white hot.
No, I'm absolutely outraged. This is the most disgraceful decision any president has ever made.
But other families are angry with the Obama administration's decision to bring top suspected terrorists to the United States.
My son was murdered, inhumanely murdered by terrorists.
Judith Reese, who clutched a photo of her dead son during a recent visit to Guantanamo, thinks the al-Qaeda suspects may cause more pain once they're moved to New York.
They are going to be able to sit and gloat over what they've done.
I think it's going to make a mockery of our judicial system. I think it'll turn into a 3-ring circus.
But a man whose wife died in the Twin Towers says the suspects in the deadliest attacks on American soil don't deserve that.
Now, you want to give them the same kind of constitutional protections as the guy who was arrested here on Bleecker Street for dealing drugs. You want to give him that? I don't think so.
This is Insider Medicine in 60 from New York, marking the 7th anniversary of the World Trade Center attacks of September 11, 2001. New York City's Department of Health and Mental Hygiene has released a report that estimates up to 12,600 adults exposed to the disaster site have developed asthma, and up to 70,000 have developed post-traumatic stress disorder. To address this, the city provides free physical and mental health care to eligible people that were affected by the attacks.
Let's go back to the 9/11 example that you just gave. Would this apply to anyone? Say you were standing in New York City when the World Trade Center was hit and saw what happened, and as a result of that, you developed post-traumatic stress syndrome. That would apply to you as well as someone who just watched the news over and over and over again?
Yes, it would apply, and there's always the issue of medical necessity. Is it medically reasonable that you would suffer from it? But we have known that children who watch the 9/11 events over and over and over again start to develop depression and things associated with post-traumatic syndrome. So it is a very real mental condition that needs to be covered so that we can do what we need to do to have a mentally healthy citizenry and workforce. And in the end, we're all going to be better for it.
Too.
Can you give me a case in United States history where a enemy combatant caught on a battlefield was tried in civilian court?
I don't know. I'd have to look at that. I think that, you know, the determination I've made...
We're making history here, Mr. Attorney General. I'll answer it for you. The answer is no.
Well, I think...
The Golani case, he was indicted for the Cole bombing before 9/11, and I didn't object to going into federal court. But I'm telling you right now, we're making history, and we're making bad history.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, Senator Grassley asked me just one thing here. Attorney General Holder, is my understanding correct that you will not commit to providing Senator Grassley a list of your recusals?
A list of my recusals?
Yes. The list of recusals that he was requesting when he examined you just a moment ago.
What I said was that I would consider that request.
Yeah, so my understanding is correct that you're not committing to provide that for him. Is that correct?
I said I would consider it.
You have repeatedly said that your decision to try Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in Article 3 courts is because that's where you have the best chance to prosecute, that the chances of success are enhanced in Article 3 courts, and that you have access to all the evidence, so you're in a better position to judge than those who are ignorant of that evidence are. How could you be more likely to get a conviction in federal court when Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is already asked to plead guilty before military commission and be executed? How could you be more likely to get a conviction in an Article 3 court than that?
Well, Senator, you're dealing with